Hi everyone, my name's Shovon Stephanie Wiggan. I'm the CEO and founder of Inspire, which is based in Birmingham in England. I'm a third year student studying business management and I'm launching my business this year.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
It's a doll business. There's 4 dolls in the collection. There's a black doll, a Muslim doll, a Chinese doll, and a white doll. And they're all best friends and they go around the world discovering inspiring women in history and new cultures.
All right, now let's take a step back into try to understand you personally. Tell me a little bit about you when you were born and about the place where you grew up. Let us know you better from there.
So I was born in England, in Birmingham, and I've lived in Birmingham all my life. My family's from Jamaica, but they have also lived in England all their life. That's it, really.
This idea of dough, where does it come from? This is your creation, your creativity.
Okay, so I attended university, and as I said previously, I'm doing business management. So business has always been an interest of mine. One day into my first year of studying, my niece, Naya, who at the time was only 5, she confided that she didn't want to be black. She felt like her skin complexion, which is a darker black, she felt like it was ugly. And you know, we can't do nothing about the skin that we're born into. So it was really worrying to me that she was already feeling so insecure and low in confidence at such a young age. So I'm quite solution driven. And I thought, how can I incorporate this issue that she's brought to me with a business idea? And that's where the doll idea was created.
That is very interesting. Is there some other persons that you know that have this kind of feeling relating to, because of course they are living in a society where the majority are white, so-called. I don't know the people that are really white as it were. Okay, fine. So that sort of might be influencing how they perceive themselves, because they look at the mirror, sometimes they see other people, no, instead of themselves. Have you seen other people that have those kind of feeling that sort of, I don't know, just thinking aloud?
Yeah, I do. I see it in women my own age. I'm 30 years old. And I think the society that we live in, it shines the light on fairer skin complexions, white, light skinned. And I think the darker skin kind of gets less praise. So it's, as you're growing up and you have that skin complexion, I think internally you're told to not love yourself as much as you should if you had fairer skin. And I'm light skinned, so I've had the privilege of feeling how you are privileged. You are more privileged when you are lighter skinned. And a lot of my black sisters who are darker skinned, they have shared with me that they do feel inadequate sometimes, and it's taken them a while to build that self-love in themselves, to realize that they are equal, if not more beautiful than someone that is white with blonde hair and blue eyes.
All right. Sorry that I'm taking a little bit, taking the story back instead of just going forward with the dough. Of course, we are getting there. And the point is that we try to understand where we are coming from, because that is very important for us, no? And so that we know, it helps us also understand where we are going. We're going to spend some time on the dough and also the business around it. We are coming to that part just now. Now, when you had feelings like that, or maybe not you having the feeling, when you engage with people who have those kind of feeling of insecurity, as it were, because it's not only there, even here in Italy, it's something that we see around, particularly of the second generation, as it were, no? Of people who were born here, who grew up and sort of understand that the way the society portrayed a certain image to them is different from what they think it should be. Therefore, there is a little bit of rebellion, as it were, no? So people start to tell story, challenge the narrative, as it were. So, do you have a kind of encounter with your parents, like to know maybe because they one time were also like you, maybe when they were growing up, if they were born in UK, or maybe when they came to UK they were much younger, if the story was the same or it's only changing in your time?
No, I think this story is as old as time, to be honest. My parents are both light skinned, so I don't think they had that. Obviously, they had issues of racial injustice, but it's funny that you should ask me this question because my nan, I love her to bits, but she's very old school and she's always favoured her lighter skinned grandchildren, which is really bad to say, but yeah, she has. And I think it just goes back to the generations when slavery was going on and the lighter slaves were seen as more beautiful. The darker ones were put in the field. You know, I think it's just something that's been passed down to generation, and unfortunately, it's still happening now.
All right, that is a disease. The disease is still there. It's still ravaging around. No, that is okay. All right, now let's come back to your creation. What kind of a message do you want to make? Because, like I was just telling you, there are many children of Africans or maybe children of mixed race in Europe who are almost like kind of rebelling to the system because the system is not giving them the chance to be who they are naturally without the pretense around it. No, they don't feel comfortable about that, so they are challenging, writing books, singing music, doing things to prove that it is not right. So, in your case, what is your message?
I would say go for it. I think don't let anybody put labels on you. Don't let anybody tell you who you should be if it's not saying you need to fulfill your potential. I think you should rebel. Obviously, like do it in a nice way, as nice as you can if you're going to rebel. But I think, yeah, and I think that will keep people hungry. That keeps people wanting to create because where it came from was oppression. So, yeah, I would say go for it.
All right. The business of dough. Now you created this image that you have talked about now. But how did you start to create it? Because one thing is to have an idea of something you want to create. The other thing is to be able to create it. So take us to the journey. How did you do it?
Okay, so initially I had the idea and I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. So I started speaking to somebody who is really good at drawings and I explained how I wanted the doll to look. This was the first doll and they created the image, and then I started working with some agencies who offered me business support. And one of the agencies had a workshop. They had a design workshop where you could make prototypes. So that was where I made the first prototype. And it wasn't very good, I'm not going to lie, but it was great to learn the process of prototyping. And then once that was finished, I found a manufacturer in England and I sent over the picture of the drawing and I said, this is what I wanted. Can you do it? They said that they could. So they sent me a prototype and I really liked it. So then from there, I started working with another business agency called Steam House. And Steam House, the manager of Steam House gave me the confidence to reach out to China because at the time, being a starting entrepreneur, I was thinking about all the risks, basically. I was thinking, what if they just take my money? They're so far away. How do I know that the language barrier isn't going to get in the way? But he told me just take a risk, make it calculated, but it will pay off. So I went onto a website called Alibaba, which has a long range of manufacturers on there. So I started speaking with a few. Once I'd found one that was a great match, I then sent over the first initial picture of the drawing and a picture of the prototype that I'd made as well, the prototype that the manufacturer from England had made. And I asked them, can you make this doll? Which they did. They sent over a prototype. I wasn't happy with the first prototype, so they sent over the second prototype. I was really happy with that prototype. And then I ordered a batch of 1,000 dolls and 1,000 boxes, because even though we have 4 dolls in the collection, we're launching with one to begin with, which is the black doll called Naya, which is named after my niece. So yeah, that's kind of how.
That's lovely.
Thank you. So yes, that's kind of how the business journey has progressed. It's been a while. I'm talking and I'm making it seem like it was quick and easy, but it definitely takes time to get the products that you want, and you have to be willing to be patient. But it's worth it in the end. Yeah, we're launching in May, which is in 2 months' time, because there was an issue with the first manufacturer. The quality of the goods were not up to standard. So we had to do the process all over again. So we're waiting for the second batch to arrive, which is arriving next month. So I think it's another joy of business that no one tells you about, the many obstacles that you have to face, the failures that you have to go through, but it's all part of the journey.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.